you sense the excitement for the kids to get back home this Saturday, first home game? Let's talk a little bit about their playing at home this weekend.
Yeah, our guys are certainly excited to kind of wash the taste out from last week to get going, and it means a lot to be able to do it with the Shrine game. That's a pretty special event for us, and it means more than just Beaver football or particularly doing some of the just the X's and O's. You're doing it for a bigger cause. So I think the guys understand that they're pretty fortunate to be able to play this game, and there's a lot of people less fortunate than them. So it's always nice to partner with the Shrine game and certainly get back on the field and get the ball rolling for our side or for our team as well.
When it comes to Concordia, what would you say are some of the keys of the game this week?
As much as I want to say we need to do this or do that, I think it's more of what we need to control on our own side. Is we need to just play fast on offense and play physical and tackle better on defense and really just take care of the special teams battle. So they do have some good players. They certainly got a good receiving core. They got good running backs. Just like everybody in this league, they're going to have good players on defense too. They got a really good defensive line, a couple different defensive linemen that are really good football players. So I think for us though is just get back to doing what we do and hopefully that will help take care of everything in terms of the game.
Obviously a lot of football left. I guess what's just been the main message to the guys, kind of bouncing back, putting last week in the rearview mirror here going forward, so a long season ahead a little bit.
Yeah, you have to. I mean, you got to play week to week and almost down to down in this conference. Every single team that you play can beat you, and you got to be able to step up and improve. And I think anytime from week 1 to week 2, it's where you expect to see big improvements from your team, and no different than us. We had quite a few guys that took some new positions or new reps or hadn't been on the field quite as much in different roles. So those guys are now veterans and they need to improve and continue to move forward and excel. So my expectation is to just go out and play football, take a deep breath and have fun with it and play fast and physical, and that's what we're planning to do.
After the game last week, what's the mindset of the team and how do you try to move on from the loss now?
It's just that you got to put it behind you. I mean, if you get stuck in the past, just like in life, you're going to continue to dwell on it, and it's going to affect your future. So you can't really dwell on anything. You had that opportunity's gone, and now we need to be able to do our part to help clean up the solution. And the solution to the problem last week and moving forward is just play better football and play Beaver football. So that's what we've been talking about with the guys, and that's what we need to be able to do.
Offensively, I know you had some problems getting the running game going last week. Has that been a point of emphasis this week to try to establish that and get going Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, we'll take whatever the defense is going to give us. We think we can throw the ball if they're low in the box, and if vice versa, we have to be able to run the ball if it's light, box count, whatever. And staying on your blocks a little bit longer, understanding what they're doing. It's hard your first game. You think you know what your opponents are going to do, and then they do something different, so you're making a lot of in-game adjustments. I think we have a pretty good grasp of what CSP is going to try to do defensively and offensively the same, and they're going to have wrinkles. Everybody's going to have wrinkles, but for the most part, seeing what you're going to get and now being able to go out and practice that for a little bit of extended period of time since the game was last Thursday. So we're excited to just get back out there and show our fans what we can do.
Defensively, what are some areas you've been working on in practice after last week?
I think it just went down to some real base things. We handled our front seven played well. We handled the run game particularly well against Winona, which we thought they were going to do, and they hit some big plays. I think you look back on film, they had 370 yards total offense, but 150 of that really came on just a select few handful of plays. So if we can improve not giving up big plays in the pass game, which some of them were jump balls, some 50-50 balls, which CSP is going to do. You'll see a very good receiver. They got a big 6'5" outside receiver that they're going to chuck it up to. He's got good ball skills. So that's what we need to be able to do is pressure the quarterback, stop the run, and then go up and battle on 50-50 balls and not be an 80-20 ball type deal where they're coming down with the vast majority.
They also almost ran for 200 yards last week. Is that kind of same question on that side of the ball? Is that kind of the emphasis a little bit too, is controlling the line of scrimmage defensively for you guys?
We always talk about controlling the line of scrimmage, and I've been here a long time. That's been my calling card is stop the run, stop the run, stop the run. And we feel that we have an extremely good defensive front seven, and so we're going to lean on those guys and make sure that we get hats in the right spots. It's just a fit issue, just making sure guys are in the right spot. They do some creative things on offense that's going to be a little bit different than what you saw last week. It was a little bit more traditional. This week it's kind of like our offense. They're going to run the quarterback. They'll run different option looks, if you would look at it that way, RPO scheme, run pass options. So we'll have to defend in a different way, which I think we're pretty good at. We see that quite often from our own offense. So we should be okay in terms of slowing down their run. We just can't give up big runs. And last week they had a 60-yard run and a couple really big runs in the second half where they made some really good in-game adjustments against Winona State. So we'll have to make sure that we're on top of the changes and see what they want to try to do against us.
However, just how fun is that going into that every year getting to play at the Czech for the first time?
Playing at the Chet's always fun, and our fans have really made it a great game day experience. When you couple that again with the Shrine game, so I expect it to be a pretty packed house, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It'll be fun, winding down if it's a nice day, people out and about. So I hope we pack the stadium, and again, not just to support this team, which they've worked hard, and hopefully people come out and do that, but again, for the Shrine organization, and that's to me one of the cool partnerships in football, and the meaning of playing in a game like that goes above and beyond just putting on a jersey. And I talked about this last night. I've talked about it every day to the team too. Is the University of Iowa had a really cool deal. I don't know if you saw it, where they turned to the Children's Hospital and waved, and it got me thinking about this game. It's like that was one of the more remarkable parts of sports last weekend. And being an Iowa guy, I'm cheering for them a little bit, but after the first corner, they waved up there and got me thinking about the Shrine game and just how fortunate we as coaches and players and everybody to be associated with it. So we're excited to play, that's for sure, and I think we just need to go out. Honestly, we just need to go play again. We're sick of talking about last week and get ready to move forward.
Blake, how's it feel to be back home this Saturday? I just talk a lot about playing in that atmosphere and a little bit of excitement going into Saturday.
Yeah, it's always awesome to play home, get to play in front of the home crowd, people's parents, families, friends, classmates. It's always good to play home. Just looking forward to bounce back. Got to bounce back. It's always tough to take an L, but unfortunately, it's part of sports, so we're going to see how we bounce back.
Being able to have that home game now this week, coming off for the loss now, how big is that game to come back home and try to capitalize on that?
Definitely a huge confidence booster. It's always easier playing in front of home. We practice there every day. You're familiar with the turf, familiar with the stadium. So that's always a positive.
What's kind of been the overall message, for the team? Coach has been saying,
Yeah.
It's a long season ahead. It's last week in the rearview mirror. What's kind of been the message here this whole week?
Definitely one game at a time. One game at a time. It's a long season. Play 11 games. Got to take each game one step at a time, one play at a time.
The offense put up 360-something yards last week, so it was a pretty nice day for you guys offensively. What are you trying to take into Concordia now this week after last week?
I guess statistically we had a good game, but we know we could have played better as an offense. So definitely got to get the running game going more. Got to get Tahi, Mikey Washington, Drew. They all got to get in there, get some carries, get some yards, and then they'll open up the pass game for us.
Just looking at Concordia's defense, I know they put up some impressive stats last week. I guess what just jumps out to you right away when you see them on film?
They have a really good D-line. So if our O-line is able to protect, run block, I think we'll be all right.
I guess just what are some things you've been working on in practice this week going into the new week?
Yeah, definitely just getting plays faster, lining up, making sure everyone's on the same page. Receivers relaying the play to the other receiver, halfbacks replaying the play to the offensive line, and so everyone's on the same page and go as fast as possible.
I know we so much talk about the weapons that you guys have offensively. And Blair's kind of a guy, sophomore, 7-up. How good was it to see him get going there on Thursday and have the game that he had?
Yeah, that's big time. Blair Van Ness is a great receiver. He's going to end up helping us in the long run. Gives us depth between me, him, Christian Lundy, Brad Birchfield, a couple other receivers. We got Jake Anderson. And if everyone can step up and play their role, we'll be okay.
Guys, talk about how's it feel to be back home finally this weekend, just that first game, the Shrine game this weekend. Talk about being home a little bit.
Yeah, it's great to be home. It'll be nice playing the home turf back at the Ched, get the boys going a little bit and kind of reroute from last week and get to play in front of our home fans and kind of get the ball rolling here.
After the first game last weekend, defensively, how did you guys look and what are you dealing with in practice this week?
Yeah, so, we really had Winona schemed up. Obviously, we did really well against the run. It's just we missed opportunities in the secondary with jump balls. Last week I think it was, I don't know how many times the receiver tipped it up and we just didn't come down with it. So, we look to improve a lot in the secondary and just continue to shut teams down in the run.
Overall, I guess, team-wise, what was kind of been this whole message this week? Obviously put last week in the rear view. We got a long season ahead, which has kind of been the overall message going through this week.
Yeah, so we're really not trying to get down on ourselves. We just look back at the film, understand the mistakes we made, and just continue to build off that and just get ready to go.
Concordia put up 200-something yards of rushing last week. So with that running game, what are some keys, do you think, stopping them this week?
Yeah, you got to respect that, but I think debatably I'd say we have the best run defense in the conference, so we're just going to scheme them up, run our stuff, and just continue to do what we do in the box and just play physical in there, just like we always do.
I guess other things stand out. Coach mentioned they got a good wide receiver, 6'4", 6'5" guy. I guess just talk a little bit about, what else have you seen from them offensively? Maybe more specifically their passing game, kind of the challenges they bring.
Yeah, so they got a really talented kid on the outside, and you obviously got to respect that. So we got to scheme some stuff up for him, but we're just going to continue to play our style of football and just keep going with the way we do.